Hi and welcome back to Man vs Film. I'm Graham. This is a top 10 list of movies that you can watch right now on Netflix UK for the month of November 2019, and there is a plethora of Netflix original movies on this one. Actually, good Netflix movies. Let's get started with number 10. In the Tall Grass. When siblings Becky and Cal hear the cries of a young boy lost within a field of tall grass, they venture in to rescue him, only to become ensnared themselves by a sinister force that quickly disorientates and separates them. Cut off from the world and unable to escape the field's tightening grip, they soon discover that the only thing worse than getting lost is being found. Based on the novella by Stephen King and Joe Hill, In the Tall Grass is a rather neat little horror movie that doesn't waste a lot of time in getting us used to the characters. Almost immediately we're thrown into this disorientating and rather strange setting of this tall grass that seems to move and push the people within it around, not allowing them to ever find their way out. And as the movie goes on, we discover other characters who are lost within this. We discover time paradoxes, people who are good that sometimes become bad, and vice versa. And a movie that is rather fun and different. Although it may just lose it a little bit in the final third, it's still a really enjoyable Netflix original. Number 9, The Never Ending Story. Bastien is a young boy who lives a dreary life being tormented by school bullies. On one such occasion, he escapes into a bookstore where the old proprietor reveals an ancient storybook to him, which he is warned can be dangerous. Shortly after, he borrows the book and begins to read it in the school attic, where he is drawn into the mystical land of Fantasia, which desperately needs a hero to save it from destruction. I haven't seen The Never-Ending Story for years. It was one of those movies in the 80s that I watched a hell of a lot, and although I could remember certain parts of it, I couldn't remember all of it. It was a joy to go back and see this practical effects laden movie with all this amazing puppetry and characters that just perpetrate this world. It's a great fantasy story that melds into the real world. I enjoyed all the characters, the adventures they go on, and it was great to go back into this world. Oh man, such a fun treat. Number 8, Wounds. One night, a vicious fight breaks out over the pool table and a man gets his face slashed with a broken beer bottle. Chaos breaks out and many flee the scene, but it so happens that one of the college students drops a smartphone, and Will, the bartender, pockets it, intending to return it to the owner. But later, texts start appearing from one of the freaked out millennials, and gruesome images in the device's photo storage lead Will on a morbid journey. Wounds was one of those movies that I was never quite sure where it was going to go to. I knew I liked the character of Will, played by Armie Hammer. I liked his relationship and how his dead-end job was kind of wearing him down. And as the movie starts to get into more sort of visceral elements, as it starts to show you horrible ideas and things get a little bit more twisted, it starts to lose its plot a little bit. And ultimately gets to a finale that really lets the movie down, but everything up to then was really good, really worthwhile. It's from the director of Under the Shadow, a fantastic horror movie, which if you haven't seen, I can highly recommend. Much better than this, but Wounds, for its cast, its runtime, and some of the ideas that it has, is pretty good. Number 7, Rattlesnake. A single mother driving cross-country to start her new life with her young daughter Clara when their car breaks down in the middle of nowhere. As Katrina changes the tyre, Clara wanders off in the desert and is bitten by a venomous rattlesnake. Desperate to save her daughter's life, Katrina accepts the help of a mysterious woman, but after she miraculously heals Clara, Katrina is asked to repay the good deed by killing a stranger in exchange for the life saved. Rattlesnake has a really good premise, but it never really elevates much above that. It's one of those kind of thrillers that you can put on, tune in and out of, and just enjoy because it's quick and it's easy. It's disposable entertainment. It's not got anything that's really going to last with you. It doesn't have a revelation at the end of it that makes everything really worthwhile. It's just a kind of pulpy, fun movie. But the lead performance is something that's really admirable, something that really drives the movie forward. I love that character, I love the performance, and it's what makes me want to recommend this movie. Number 6, Eli. A young boy plagued with an unknown debilitating illness that requires him to live completely sealed off from the outside world. After exhausting every option, his parents put their trust in his life in the hands of a doctor whose experimental, cutting-edge treatments may hold Eli's last hope. As Eli undergoes a tremendously intense process that could potentially cure him, he begins to be haunted by experiences that make him question who he can trust. I thought Eli was really effective. It has some good horror moments. It's classified as a horror movie, but one of the things that I felt really great about this movie was the mystery. I was always wondering where it was going. What was it leading to? What was the ultimate end game of this movie going to be? And it kept me guessing right up until the end. I liked the character of Eli. I liked the fact that we have this ominous doctor who could be doing good, could be doing bad, and then the ghostly apparitions that appear throughout it as well. This is a fairly good horror movie with some fantastic set pieces that I won't ruin for you just now, but it's a really great movie. Number 5, El Camino. Finally free from the torture and slavery at the hands of Todd's Uncle Jack and from Mr. White, Jesse must escape demons from his past. He's on the run from a police manhunt with only his hope of escape being Saul Goodman's Hoover guy, Ed Galbraith, a man who for the right price can give you a new identity and a fresh start. Jesse is racing against the clock with the help from his crew, avoiding capture to get enough money together to buy a new life. As a conclusion of Jesse's story, I thought it was marvellous, really focusing on this character as he kind of breaks through to a brighter side, trying to get through all the atrocities that's been done to him, giving you lots of cameos from the series, lots of throwbacks to major scenes and fun moments, and it just gives a really nice final conclusion to the character of Jesse. Number 4, Fractured. Driving home after a tense holiday weekend with his in-laws, Ray Monroe, a well-meaning but overwhelmed family man, pulls into a rest area with his wife Joanne and daughter Perry. The trip takes a turn for the worse when Perry is hurt in an accident and the family rushes to a nearby emergency room, run by staff with dubious intentions. After being sent away for further testing, Perry and Joanne vanish and all records of their visit disappear. Ray's concern turns into a desperate race to find his family and discover the truth of what happened to them. I really enjoyed Fractured. I found it was a movie that felt familiar because it does follow certain tropes and certain ideas and plot points that other movies have travelled before them, but it twists and turns it in a novel way. It has this layered sensibility about it. It has a great performance at the heart of it. It has some twists and turns. It has moments that made me go, well, it's going to be A, oh no wait, it's going to be B, oh no wait, it's going to go back to that. And I could never quite get a firm grip on where I thought the story was going to go, which was refreshing. The movie, it moved me from one vantage point to another. It flipped and flopped constantly, and it's really good to have a movie that can manipulate you like that and still have an ending that's worthwhile. Number 3, The Laundromat. When her idyllic vacation takes an unthinkable turn, Ellen Martin begins an investigation into fake insurance policies, only to find herself down a rabbit hole of questionable dealings that can be linked to Panama City law firm and its vested interest in helping the world's wealthiest citizens amass even larger fortunes. Another Steven Soderbergh movie that just ends up on Netflix that is completely entertaining and captivating. This one is a little bit of an oddball because it's tackling a broader subject but trying to tie it down to certain characters. So you get small parts of a story, or you go to a character for maybe 10 minutes and never see them again, as it just shows how all these people are affected by these laws and these dodgy firms that are doing dodgy dealings, and as well the people who are behind it in the forms of Gary Oldman and Antonio Banderas, who are our narrators, who talk us through the story. I watched this a couple of times, and although it's fun and endearing, and it doesn't really get to the heart or meat of the subject, but it's still an entertaining watch. Number 2, Arctic. After a plane crash, a man fights to survive stranded alone in the Arctic. When he sees a helicopter, he sees the chance to be saved, but the helicopter crashes and he rescues a wounded woman from the debris. After a long period, he decides to embark on a journey with the woman with hope to find salvation or death. Arctic is a marvellous movie, fairly simple in its plot, very limited in dialogue, but entirely compelling thanks to the performance of Mads Mikkelsen, who is this movie. He is the sole character on screen. Although we get the injured woman, she's unconscious. We never really see her. It's just more of another burden for him to traverse across this unbelievable landscape that he has to try and somehow traverse to get to safety. And just seeing this man as he systematically tries to survive is compelling. It's so fantastic. It looks amazing, it's expertly shot, and the way it creates this tension without having to go to dialogue. It's a lot of showing rather than telling. It's just storytelling done in a fantastic way with limited resources. This is a marvellous movie that you could just skip by oh so easily. One of the best things about it is it starts entirely when it has to. There's no preamble, you're just there, he's trapped, he's trying to survive. And it ends exactly at the perfect point of the movie. It just creates this fantastic story of this character, and it is so wonderful, so compelling, and one of these movies that I'm just worried that people are going to miss out on. Arctic is amazing. Check it out. Number 1, Dolomite Is My Name. Stung by a string of showbiz failures, floundering comedian Rudy Ray Moore has an epiphany that turns into a word-of-mouth sensation. Step on stage as someone else, borrowing from the street mythology of the 70s Los Angeles, Moore assumes the persona of Dolomite, a pimp with a cane and an arsenal of obscene fables. However, his ambition exceeding selling bootleg records deemed too racy for mainstream radio stations to play, Moore convinces a social justice-minded dramatist to write his alter ego a film incorporating kung fu, car chases and horny women. Eddie Murphy gives an outstanding performance as Rudy Ray Moore in this kind of engaging movie. It's all about people trying to buck the system, trying to make a success of themselves when everybody else is telling them that they can't do it. It's not going to work. They have to give up their dreams and move on. They have this relentlessness, this drive to succeed, and to see it come to fruition is just so fantastic. To see the obstacles they come up against, to see the hurdles that they overcome is just wonderful. To see this group of people become a family as they work together for the success that they quite rightly deserve. And it's all done with these amazing performances of characters. Eddie Murphy is the lead performer as Rudy Ray Moore, and he just gives one of his best performances this century as this character, this eternal optimist who just will not be beaten down by this wave of negativity that comes his way. I think this is a terrific movie for anybody, regardless as to whether you've seen Dolomite or not. This is just a terrific movie. So there we have it. 10 fantastic movies for you to check out this month on Netflix. I hope you find something there that you're going to love, or maybe something that you hadn't given a chance and you're going to give it a shot. I'd love to know your thoughts on any of these movies, or if there's anything else I've missed off my list, let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next month for another top 10. Thanks for watching.